What's going on today, guys? My name is Luke, and today we're going to be talking about what it is like to be 33 years old. And honestly, in my early 20s, I remember working with a guy from Washington, really good friend of mine, really good mentor, honestly. And he said, Luke, if you're going to keep working lots of hours, you're going to wake up one day and you're going to be 30. And I remember that just stuck with me because, especially on my 30th birthday, I was like, wow, Steve was right. Like, this did come pretty quickly. There's a lot of things like turning 33, like I've learned the hard way, and I've thought like if I could go back to being 20, there's a few different things I would tell myself. When you're 20, one of the biggest things, like, you definitely don't appreciate your time like you should, because that's probably about the freest you'll ever be, unless you're in school, like pursuing a master's degree or something like that. I just went to college for 2 years. I got an associate's degree and was done with college by the age of 20. But when I actually got out and started working, it was like I would just go to work and then I'd come home and didn't really have any other responsibilities other than that. I mean, when I was 20, I'd bought my first house, modular home. And so I had some of those responsibilities, but I just didn't appreciate the time like that I had to myself and to my hobbies. And like right now, recording on this, I'm actually in my garage sitting on my tractor right now because my three kids are asleep inside and I don't want to wake them up by making a video inside the house. And so it would have probably been a little bit more ideal to start this YouTube journey maybe before I had kids, but hindsight's always 2020. So that's one of the biggest things I think if you're 20 years old. I think just realize that your life is probably going to get a lot more complicated when you get married. It it's pretty awesome getting married. Like, I'm not telling you not to get married, and I think it might not be for everybody, but I would definitely, if there's anything you want to do before life gets too busy, I would definitely give it a shot. Like, if you're going to start a business or anything, it can be a lot easier when you don't have kids to feed. All your time is taken up when you do get home from work. I don't know how a lot of business owners do it with kids. I mean, there's no real balance whatsoever, it seems like to me, anyways. Also, when I was 20, nobody, I mean, I really didn't have any guidance as far as like investing any money or anything like that. And I wish that somebody would have taken me under their wing a little bit, because now, like, I've made a pretty good amount of money in the stock market after having invested probably the last 8 years or so. And I wish I would have got started earlier because I could have been that much farther ahead. I know, like, I didn't even really know at the age of 20 what a 401k was, and I didn't even start contributing until I was like 26 or 27. So I missed out on a lot of years of compound growth. And that's kind of one of the biggest things, one of my biggest regrets from my 20s was just, I was so consumed with, well, I grew up and like I didn't live like a fancy lifestyle. I mean, I had everything I needed. I didn't grow up poor by any means. But when I actually got out and started working, it's like, oh, sweet, I can buy this snowmobile now, or I can buy this motorcycle, or whatever dumb thing I wanted at the time. Whereas I didn't really plan for anything. I just kind of lived week to week, kind of lived for Friday night. And yeah, I mean, I think I've made a pretty good turnaround in my life. I've done some really good things. I've pursued some dreams. I'm actually a best-selling children's book author, which I'm really glad that I went for that. And I'm proud to say that I had my first best-selling book on Amazon when I was 29. So I was happy that I at least accomplished that in my 20s. But I wish I would have pursued some of that stuff a little bit, like a little bit sooner when I had more time. Another one of my biggest regrets too was I I put a house on some land that I didn't actually own, and it didn't work out for me. Like, I ended up having to sell the home off of the land like 9 years later. Hindsight being 2020 again, I would never do that. I mean, thankfully now in my property that I do have, we built a house on some land that I actually own, which is awesome. So definitely don't do that. I lost a whole bunch of money because I could have turned around and sold my place for a lot more money than just selling a double wide trailer off of a chunk of land that wasn't mine. Those are just some of the things, guys, that I wish that I was told when I was 20 and I wasn't. And looking back, I could have completely turned my life around. And I'm doing okay now, like, but I just wish that I would have had the foresight a little bit to make some changes. And I guess you can't beat yourself up for stuff that you've done and or haven't done. You just got to learn and kind of move forward. So with that said, guys, hope you learned something from today's video. If you liked anything I said, let me know in the comments section. If you give me a thumbs up that really help out the channel. We're just kind of getting going here. I really want this channel to be a gift to somebody else, to kind of help them, to encourage them. I want to start from the absolute bottom and just put content out that helps you make your life better. Is kind of my ultimate goal here. And the reason I'm doing that, I guess, is just, like, I'm pretty fulfilled financially from my job. Like, obviously everybody could always use more money and stuff, but I mean, it gets to a point where it's like, do you really need all this extra BS? And it's like, you kind of just get into the grind of the corporate America lifestyle. And I'm just looking for a little bit more fulfillment in life. And I guess at the end of the day, I do have a heart of a teacher. I do enjoy teaching people things, because I felt a lot of things in my life I've had to figure out the hard way. And so if I can save you some heartache and stuff, I just hope that you can benefit from it a little bit. Anyways, guys, hope you have a good night, and we'll maybe make another video later. We'll peace out.